Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're going to talk about fig trees, so stay tuned. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update about my fig trees here at my actual house. This isn't at one of the farms. This is just literally the fig trees at my house that I harvest fruit from, that we make jams from. And most of these figs are only a couple of years old. Not that long ago, we made a video, what to expect from your fig trees year 1 to 4. And we're kind of coming into the end of the season. We probably have another month of growth or so. And so I just wanted to show you where we are on all these different figs. And so we'll actually start over here. This is my white Marseille fig tree. You can see how massive those leaves are. This one typically doesn't produce fruit for me. And by typically, I mean it never produces fruit for me because it is a later season variety. It needs more time to ripen the fruit than we get here in my zone. Where my house is, it's kind of zone 6, zone 7. We got to negative 15 degrees this past winter, so that was a freak thing, but I don't typically get fruit out of this. However, I do sell the cuttings, and I root plants, and I sell them to people. And if you guys are interested in any of these fig trees, I sell all of them at theamericanfigcompany.com. So check that out if you haven't already. But as you can see, it kind of grows like a bush. This one's probably about 8 feet tall. We still have another month left in the growing season, so it'll get quite a bit taller. They grow extremely fast, a lot faster than many other fruit trees. And I always cut these trees all the way back to the roots, and this is what you get, by the time winter comes, and they usually die back to the ground. But that's the white Marseille. We have this one right here. This is a new planting. This is my Boston Unknown number 12. Can't remember who I bought this from, but this is a fairly rare variety. And it's something that I just kind of started messing around with. It's supposed to be more cold hardy than almost any other fig. So I guess I'll kind of be the judge on that. You guys can follow along if maybe you have this one or you're thinking about getting it. I'll keep you updated on this. This right here is my Little Miss Figgy fig tree. And if you come in close, you can actually see all the little figs growing on this. Not sure if these are going to ripen in time. In the years past, they really haven't, so I'm not really expecting much. However, I do root these, I do sell these, and it's supposed to be a dwarf fig, but I've found that it grows just as big as every other one, so I wouldn't really call this a dwarf fig tree, but we can all call things whatever we want, I guess. This one was just planted this year, and it had some pretty good growth. This is a Violet de Bordeaux, and this one's I've already eaten a bunch of fruit off of this thing, and they really are a great fig. I mean, if you guys haven't had this one, you definitely need this, especially if you live in a colder planting zone. This thing will push out fruit like no other. I mean, first year, and we're getting a bunch of figs off of this thing, and it's really not even that tall. I've got another one in the back that I'm going to show you here in a minute. But this one is a great fig for a colder climate. So if you're looking for something that's definitely going to give you fruit and the fruit tastes great, Violet de Bordeaux is a fig you should definitely check out. Right over here in this corner, this is another winner. This is the Texas Everbearing fig. This one consistently produces for me, and it pushes out so many figs, it's ridiculous. I mean, look in here. You can see how many figs are on this, and these will all ripen up. They ripen up for me a little bit later, like halfway through October, end of September into October. They don't all ripen at one time, they ripen at different times. So if you want to make like a jam or something, you really gotta take the fig off and put it in like a freezer bag, put it in the freezer so that way you can use bulk figs later, because you're not gonna get that many at one time. So that's the Texas Everbearing fig. I also want to point out, if you look at the Little Miss Figgy, you can see how many leaves have dropped off of this thing. That's really not a big concern. It's been extremely dry. We haven't had a rain in a pretty decent amount of time. So it's not unusual for them to start dropping some leaves if they're going through a drought. They're very drought tolerant. You don't really have to worry about them dying or anything. But they are going to go through a little bit of stress just like every other plant in the garden. So over here, we have my Desert King fig being completely bombarded by this Musabaju banana. It does have a couple of figs on it. It's going through a drought stress just like everything else, but just planted this one this year. And to be honest, I'm gonna have to control these banana trees now. I hadn't in the years past, but now that this is here, it's gonna have to share some space. And it's kind of in between this Musabaju and then this elderberry over here, which elderberries are awesome too, but that's not what this video is about. So Desert King fig, this is one that you really actually need to grow in a pot because you're going to be looking for the breba crop on this one. I believe the main crop actually has to be pollinated by the fig wasp. So if you don't have a fig wasp where you live, you're not going to get that main crop, but you can get the breba crop on these. So this is a potted fig. Check it out, AmericanFigCompany.com. So here behind me, this is a newly planted fig this year as well. This is a Black Madeira. It's kind of being bombarded by the citrus trees and the other fig tree that I have right here next to it, which I'll get to in a second. But you can see, first year, we've got a few figs. In my other video, what to expect from your fig trees year 1 to 4, I show you this thing when I very first planted it. I actually rooted a cutting from this that I had purchased from somebody else. So this was its first year in the ground. You can see it as a little baby, and now you can see where it ended up. I'm about 6'1", so it's either the same height as me or maybe even a little taller. So not bad for 1 year of growth, and then, you know, we'll get a few figs off of it this year. Right here next to it, its little partner here. This is that LSU purple fig tree that I was showing you guys in that other video. This thing has gotten massive. And you can see if you come in here close just how many figs are all over this thing. This doesn't normally get recommended as a cold hardy fig, but I've had great success with this thing. This thing will ripen up all these fruits before winter gets here. It's kind of going to be an October thing, and if you can plant this on a southern exposure where it's going to be a bit warmer of a microclimate, you can get a nice tasting fig because you really need that heat to ripen up those figs and make them sweet. But this is the LSU purple, has really pretty foliage, and it's honestly one of my favorite that I have. Maybe not the best tasting, but I just love how quick of a grower it is and that it provides you with lots of figs even in a colder climate. So if you don't have this one, you should get it. So right here, I'm next to a fig that's called Unknown Ashbury Black. It's obviously an unknown fig. It's just simply become known as the Unknown Ashbury Black. I recently bought this one, and it's something that I'm starting to mess around with, but I rooted this cutting this past winter. This is its first season, and this thing is about 8 feet tall, maybe a little taller. Probably is taller. I'm really bad with math, so it's big. And you can see how many figs are all over this thing. For a first-year fig, that's ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen one grow this fast out of any of the figs that I've had. Unknown Ashbury Black. Messing around with this one. If you guys are interested in this one, I may have a few cuttings available, but this one seems to be doing really well, and I'll see how it handles the cold. It's supposed to be a very cold hardy fig. The guy that I bought it from, he lives in a colder zone. I think he lives in zone 7, and he gets fruit from it all the time, said they're really good. So if you're interested in this one, I'll keep you up to date on videos. You can check it out on the website, see if there's any availability. If I don't have any at the time that you're on there, always sign up with your email, and I'll let you know as soon as I have things available. All of my cuttings, they go really fast. All of my rooted figs, they go really fast. People keep getting in touch with me. Oh, you're always sold out. Well, that's because I'm always selling them. So sign up for that email list because you'll be first to get notified, and it makes your chances of getting them go way up. So go ahead and do that if you haven't done it. So that's Unknown Ashbury Black. So now we're out here in my food forest right here below me. This is another awesome fig, Sweet Diana. It's in its first year. It was struggling a little bit at first. Now it's starting to do better. But this is supposed to be one of the most cold hardy figs as well. So if you live in a colder planting zone, this is definitely one that you're going to want to check out. Haven't eaten the fruits off of it, but it's supposed to be a lighter fig. It's not those, that darker red color like all the other ones that I've shown you so far are. This one is a lighter fig. Haven't eaten one yet. Supposed to be really good. Supposed to be very cold hardy. From what I understand, the person that I got this from lives in zone 6, and they say that it doesn't even die back to the ground. We'll test that out, but sweet Diana. So here's another one that's a first-year planting. This is a Nero 600 fig. Supposed to be another cold hardy variety. If you come in close, we've got some little figs actually starting to grow on this thing. Probably not going to ripen this year, but I've been surprised before. Either way, it's a first-year planting. I'm just trying to get it established, but kind of different type of leaves. The Violet de Bordeaux, it has some leaves that look like this, but the Violet de Bordeaux is known for having multiple leaf patterns. But that's the Nero 600. Super excited about this one. And then right here behind that, this is my Celeste fig tree. This one's been here for quite a few years now, but this thing has figs all over it, and its leaves kind of feel a little bit different than the rest of them. It's almost more velvety feeling. I really like this fig. It's another cold hardy variety, and I've had really good success with it here. And then if you come around here in the food forest, if we can get behind these pawpaws. I've planted another couple varieties here as well. This is a red Italian. It's doing really well, has figs all over it. These will definitely ripen up. They're pretty good size. Kind of reminds me of the brown turkey or the Texas everbearing, but I know that it's going to be different. It's supposed to be a really good fig. So right here, we have another unknown fig. This is called Spatafora Unknown. Another really cold hardy fig. I was happy I could get my hands on this one. These are all first year figs that I'm showing you guys right now. So we're having pretty good success with them. I'm not watering these or anything. So these are just left to their own devices. I've got some mulch in the bottom and they're doing really well. Let's see, what do we have here? This is Longed Out. Yet again, another cold hardy fig. I really don't mess with a lot of things that aren't supposed to be cold hardy. But first year growth, not too shabby. And then I really won't go into detail about back here, but my property already ended. So I'm kind of like sticking these in the woods a little bit, but nobody said anything yet. So I'm going to keep getting away with it as long as I can. Somebody will say something someday, but I don't know. Maybe they'll be happy that there's figs there. I don't know. Taking chances, guys. So this is just a little update I wanted to give about the figs at my personal house. I'm really happy to share them with you guys. If you guys want to know any other information, just leave a question in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and keep following. We're actually doing our fig farm. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload that video first or this one, but you guys will definitely see it. If you're interested in staying up to date with the business part of everything, I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos like that as well. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I can't wait to see you again.